You and I are a huge collection of habits, ways of thinking and acting that we do effortlessly without giving it much thought. I'm always trying to upgrade my existing habits to get better results. So naturally I picked up the book High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard. Author Brendon Burchard has trained almost 2 million people online in the area of high performance, and over the last 3 years he's issued surveys, collected data, and compared before and after results of all his students. He did this to discover the habits of the highest performers. There are many great habits in this book, but there are 3 habits in particular that I've personally incorporated into my life over the last 4 weeks that have led to a spike in my performance and productivity. The 3 habits are tension to intention, necessity through identity, and bringing my A game. Habit number 1, tension to intention. Late one night, Brendon Burchard was asked by a struggling Silicon Valley CEO to get on a plane and fly out to San Francisco. The CEO was on the verge of burnout, and he was looking for a way to get the joy back in his life. The problems in his business were weighing him down and preventing him from being present with his wife at home. The relationship between the CEO and his wife was falling apart. Luckily, Brendon had seen this pattern many times before, and he knew of a habit that the CEO could incorporate into his life to get back to his high-performing self and be more present with his wife. That evening, the CEO went home to try the new habit. When he pulled into the driveway, he took a minute and closed his eyes and repeated the word release to himself. As he repeated the word release, he commanded his body to release all the tension in his shoulders, his neck, his face, and his jaw. Then he went down to his back and his legs. After he felt the tension leave his body, he asked himself, "What is the primary feeling I want to bring into my home?" By asking that question, he started to generate the emotions he would need to be fully present with his wife and be the best possible husband he could be that evening. The CEO walked into the house that evening feeling like a new man. Later that night, he wrote Brendon an email. In the email, he wrote, "We just had the most wonderful night. I'm at a loss how to describe it. For the first time in a long time, I want you to know that I feel like I was alive again." The strategy that Brendon taught the CEO that night is based on a truth that many high performers tap into. Most high performers know that they have the power to generate whatever feelings they want in any situation. They don't have to carry around the emotions of the day. They don't have to sit back and hope to feel the way they want to feel. Brendon says, "It's so thoroughly obvious that high performers are generating the feelings they want more often than taking the emotions that land on them. Like the struggling CEO, we can choose what emotions we want to bring into any situation. We can choose to release emotions that are holding us back and bring constructive emotions into every situation we enter. The key is to release tension and set an intention during every major transition during the day. When we go from working at our desk to enter a meeting, we release the tension in our face and our shoulders and we ask, what feeling do I want to bring into this meeting? You could choose to bring emotions of curiosity and patience. When you're going from the office or from school to home, you could release the tension in your face and your shoulders and then ask, what feeling do I want to bring into my home? You could choose to bring appreciation and warmth. And if you're going from the house to the gym, you release the tension in your face and your shoulders and you ask yourself, what feelings do I want to bring to the gym? You could choose to bring a higher level of intensity than you've had all day. Each transition during the day is a chance to build the habit of releasing the tension and then setting an intention of the feeling that you want to bring to the next situation. Habit number 2, necessity through identity. Of all the feelings that high performers choose to generate, the feeling of necessity might be the most powerful. Musician Bob Marley once said, "You never know how strong you are until being strong is your only choice." The legendary Chinese general Sun Tzu said that when his armies fought in situations where they had nowhere to retreat because they had a mountain or ocean at their back, they were fighting on death ground, and they fought 3 times as hard. Like Bob Marley and Sun Tzu, high performers know that as human beings they are creatures of necessity. If something must happen, it usually does. High performers don't hope they perform well. They create situations and mindsets where they must perform well. They do this by creating a sense of identity around their endeavors and their goals. When Brendon asks high performers why they work so hard or how they stay so focused, the responses often sound something like this: "It's just who I am. I can't imagine doing anything else." When what you do is who you are, you're able to push yourself beyond what others are capable of. An elite athlete doesn't enjoy hard workouts, but they do it because they see themselves as an elite athlete, and hard workouts are what elite athletes need to do. So they show up in the gym time and time again to push themselves past the pain. I've learned to create a sense of necessity through identity by incorporating the following habit into my daily routine. When I sit down to work on an important personal goal, like building this YouTube channel, and I'm not feeling particularly motivated, I think to myself, this is who I am. This is what I do. I cultivate a feeling of identity around the act of doing what I need to do to achieve my goal. I've noticed that I'm pushing myself harder than I ever have, because if I don't, I would be inconsistent with who I am as a content creator. The feeling of being inconsistent feels terrible and, quite frankly, unacceptable. By cultivating the emotion of identity around what I'm doing, I create an emotional death ground. There is nowhere to retreat. I must do what is in line with my identity. Habit number 3, bringing my A game. High performers are inspired by a sense of purpose. That's pretty common sense by now. But our culture makes us believe that having purpose means helping millions or changing the world. But Brendon found that the highest performers often just focus on one person. Not millions, not even a group of people, just one person. Some of the answers during his interviews with high performers were, "She needed me," or "I didn't want him to suffer," or "I wanted to do it for her. She would have liked that." Knowing that we can tap into the power of purpose and raise our performance to the highest level by finding one person to help means we don't need to spend years looking for a grand mission. We just need to find that one person we're willing to struggle for. To find this person, Burchard recommends developing the habit of asking, "Who needs my A game?" He says this question gets you looking beyond your individual performance or feelings. By asking this question, you stoke the necessity to be your best in order to help others, which allows you to hit high performance faster and stay there longer. I've incorporated this habit of asking, "Who needs my A game?" every time my focus starts to weaken. When I ask, "Who needs my A game?" I picture one person that can benefit from my work. It's usually a person from one of my video comments who says they're struggling but find my videos helpful. Having the image of that person in mind helps me stay focused and committed to my craft. When you ask who needs my A game, you might think of a family member or a teammate in need or a customer you want to help. In the end, we are a collection of habits, and by adopting high performance habits, we can live a life of excellence. As a great football coach Vince Lombardi once said, the quality of a person's life is in direct proportion to their commitment to excellence. That was a core message that I gathered from High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard. It's a great book with several actionable takeaways. I highly recommend it. If you would like a one-page PDF summary of insights that I gathered from this book, just click the link below and I'd be happy to email it to you. If you already subscribe to the free Productivity Game email newsletter, this PDF is sitting in your inbox. As always, thanks for watching and have yourself a productive week.